Russia launched a satellite named Cosmos 2576 from its Plesetsk cosmodrome in May 2024, leading to a United States response in the United Nations. Cosmos 2576 is considered a counter-space weapon. These are weapons that are capable of attacking satellites in low Earth orbit, which includes the Hubble telescope, the International Space Station, commercial imaging satellites, and the Starlink satellite constellations. The launch has raised concerns about the weaponization of space, as the Outer Space Treaty of 1967 forbids nuclear weapons deployment in Earth orbit, the Moon, or any celestial body. In 2006, President George W. Bush's administration revised the United States National Space Policy, allowing the U.S. Air Force Space Command to take military action in space to protect U.S. space assets and deny space to adversaries. Both the U.S. and the Soviet Union had explored orbital and ground-based weapon systems to attack targets before 2006. The Bush administration's decision was based on the United States becoming more dominant in space and launching more capable satellites, which had civilian applications but also military applications. Counter-space weapons are a significant threat to the United States, as Russia is not as reliant on space-based systems as the US and is not capable of projecting force globally beyond its strategic nuclear weapons. This makes US systems in space vulnerable to Russian attack, potentially leveling the playing field by reducing American military capabilities relative to Russian capabilities, which are not nearly as reliant on space-based assets. Russia is developing the capability to deploy nuclear-armed satellites in space, known as indiscriminate counterspace weapons, which do not specifically target a particular satellite. These weapons aim solely at satellites in various Earth orbits and not against ground-based targets on Earth. The effectiveness of an indiscriminate attack is less on the kinetic impact of the nuclear explosion, but the non-kinetic impact of the electromagnetic pulse that would destroy the satellite's electronics and render them useless. The deployment of non-discriminate nuclear-armed satellites would be against the Outer Space Treaty, but the US has little else it can do to punish Russia. If the US cannot dissuade Russia, it must pursue the costly option of bolstering passive defensive measures of US space assets or creating active defense systems against potential attacks. A potential space arms race could commence, involving China and India. China's military capability mirrors the US system and is reliant on a space-based system. If Russia launches indiscriminate nuclear attacks in Earth orbit, it will significantly impact both Chinese and US capabilities. So one option the US can pursue is for China to persuade Russia against this capability, and thus help prevent a space-based arms race.